look at four key AWS services that power modern containerized applications: ECS, EKS, Fargate, and ECR. If you're building microservices, deploying Docker containers, or just exploring cloud native tools, this one's for you. Let's start with Amazon ECS, AWS's own container orchestration service. It's tightly integrated with AWS services like IAM, CloudWatch, and ELB. That makes it ideal for teams that are already working inside the AWS ecosystem, especially those who don't want the complexity of Kubernetes. Use cases: simpler containerized apps, teams who want fast setup with AWS native tooling, microservices that don't need advanced orchestration. Now, here's how ECS deployment actually looks in practice. Incoming requests from users hit the application load balancer or ALB that routes traffic to specific ECS services based on rules like URL paths or host names. Each ECS service maintains the desired number of running tasks, automatically restarting failed ones, and integrates with the ALB to manage health checks. The service uses a task definition, basically a blueprint that defines which Docker image to run, how much CPU and memory to allocate, port mappings, environment variables, and more. From the definition, Fargate tasks are launched, meaning AWS handles all the infrastructure. We don't manage any servers. Each task pulls its container from Amazon ECR, our private Docker registry. So why choose ECS? Because it's easier to manage than Kubernetes, has strong AWS integration, and comes with opinionated time-saving defaults. The trade-offs: pros: simple, fast startup, great AWS integration. Cons: locked into AWS, limited customization. Next up, Amazon EKS, the Kubernetes way to run containers on AWS. EKS gives you a fully managed Kubernetes control plane supporting standard Kubernetes APIs, Helm charts, CRDs, and more. Use cases: complex workloads, teams already familiar with Kubernetes, hybrid or multi-cloud deployments. Here's what an AKS deployment looks like. Incoming traffic hits an application load balancer. Behind it sits an ingress controller like nginx or the AWS load balancer controller, the managing path-based routing. Inside the AKS cluster, Kubernetes deployments define how many replicas to run, which image to use, and how to handle rolling updates. Each deployment is paired with a Kubernetes service which load balances traffic across pods. Those pods which hold your containers can be scheduled on EC2 worker nodes or on Fargate. Just like ECS, EKS pulls container images from Amazon ECR at runtime. Why use EKS? Because it offers full access to the Kubernetes ecosystem plus flexibility, portability, and integration with open source tools. Trade-offs. Pros are that it is portable, extensible, and multi-cloud capable. Cons is that it has a steep learning curve, more setup, harder to troubleshoot. Now let's talk about the engine behind both ECS and EKS, which is AWS Fargate. Fargate is serverless compute for containers. No EC2, no node groups, just containers. Use cases. Small teams or startups, event driven or spiky workloads, short lived background jobs. You define your container specs, CPU, memory, image location, IAM roles, and networking inside a task definition for ECS or a pod spec for EKS. Fargate launches the container for you. No EC2, no provisioning. It pulls the Docker image from ECR, allocates resources, and even manages security at the task level. So why use Fargate? Because it eliminates server management and just works for most workloads. Trade-offs. Pros are that it is fast to deploy, no ops, secure. And cons are that it has higher cost than EC2, limited customization, possible cloud starts. Possible cold starts. Finally, let's talk about the backbone of all this, Amazon ECR. ECR is where you store and manage your Docker images. It's secure, private, and deeply integrated with AWS IAM, VPCs, and CI/CD pipelines. The use cases are image storage for ECS, EKS, Lambda, integration with GitHub Actions, code pipeline, and code build. Internal teams that need a private, secure registry. Here's the flow. We build Docker images locally or in CI, tag them, and push them to ECR. From there, ECS, EKS, or even Lambda can pull the images at runtime. ECR supports features like lifecycle policies, image scanning, and encryption out of the box. Why use ECR? Because it is AWS native, scalable, and integrate seamlessly with your deployment workflow. Trade-offs: the pros are that it is secure, scalable, and great AWS integration. The cons are that it has fewer collaboration tools than Docker Hub or Artifactory. So to recap, use ECS if you want simple AWS native orchestration. Use EKS if you need the power and flexibility of Kubernetes. Use Fargate to avoid managing infrastructure altogether. And use ECR to store and serve your container images securely. Match the right tool to your team's expertise, workload, complexity, and operational needs.